He said, take him off the flight. He is not flying today. He is threatening me. We were on a trip around the world. We're traveling through Europe. And then we were heading to Nairobi, Kenya, but we had to go back through Athens to do that. My wife is the master travel planner. She had all of our documents in place, visas, passports, QR codes, everything. The woman at the check-in counter is impressed by my wife's preparation. While my wife is checking in, these Greek women come walking by to check in on the counter next to us. They just decide they're going to stand with their backs and their legs touching my wife. And they're just like leaning their stuff on my wife. And so I just stepped in and kindly asked them, maybe they weren't aware, maybe they didn't see it. Excuse me, would you mind sliding over a little bit? You're touching my wife. They move over a little begrudgingly. These two guys seem to have a problem with our joy, have a problem with me asking these women not to touch my wife. So they come over and you can see it in his face, the little one. His name is Andreas. This man walks up. He says, do you have a ball in your bag? Christopher has a football in his backpack. You can maybe see like an inch of it. We've checked it on countless flights. This man says, can I see your ball? So my son pulls the ball out. He touches it. This man, Andreas, touches it. He says, this ball could explode. Explode? Yes, we need to take the air out of it. The woman who checked us in, she says, oh no, they're fine. They're good. They're ready to. He says, no, this ball could explode and we need to take the air out of it. This man says, so take air out of it. I said, we don't have a needle. He says, I'll be right back. He comes back with the top of a pen, like a big pen with the fat top, with the little pointy part. He tries to stuff it into our football. It's too big. It doesn't fit. He says, I'll be right back. He goes, one of the women at the check-in counter asks her for a bobby pin, takes her bobby pin out of her hair, and he comes and he hands it to my older son. He says, use this. I'm looking at him confused. I said, do you do this all the time? Yes, I do it all the time. I said, if you do it all the time, why don't you have a pin or something to let air out of the ball? And when you take the air out, how are we going to put it back in? He says, I don't know. Not my problem. I said, okay, I see where this is going. He says, take the air out. I'm like, so my son is slowly deflating the ball and it's just letting out unnecessary amounts of air. I said, okay, that's enough. He says, no more. I said, man, that's enough. He says, no more. I said, man, I feel like you're targeting us. I don't think you do this for everybody. He said, that's it. He yells to the woman at the counter, take him off the flight. He is not flying today. He is threatening me. Oh, man. I said, man, stop it. I did not threaten you. You are not flying today, sir. You are threatening me. It was ridiculous. I did not threaten this man. I said, look, can I talk to you man to man over here privately? His friend looks embarrassed. His friend looks like he has plenty of sense. His friend who's standing there looks like he can't even believe that his friend Andreas is behaving in the way that he's behaving. We walk over to the side. I said, look, man to man, my family and I are on a family trip. We've been having a wonderful time. Qatar Airlines is one of our favorite airlines. This is a ball we have used to make memories all over the world. So, sir, I don't know what's going on, but I ask that you please don't remove me from this flight. I did not threaten you. For you to even say that, man, is not even fair. He and his friend consult for a second in their own language. I don't know what they're saying. He says, okay. The friend then walks me back and says, you're good. I go through security. They start boarding the flight, and I'm walking up, and Andres, his friend, is at the gate now. The friend walks up to me. He says, I'm very sorry for what happened, sir. I hope you have an amazing trip. I just shook my head. I shook his hand, and I said, thank you. And I got on that flight, and I left. And we flew to Qatar and then to Nairobi. And when we landed in Nairobi, man, seeing all of those beautiful black people welcome us with warmth, with kindness, with love. Oh, man, it was so therapeutic and beautiful. We sit our bags down. We walk to the market at the corner, and all of the employees there are beautiful Kenyans. And I'm just walking around just so grateful. The employees are just kind of smiling at how happy we are to be there. They don't understand what we had just endured. I love you, Kenya. The brother said in Kenya, he says, you're home. He says, you belong here. You're home. Welcome home, my brother. But I say this to anyone who is black, who has a black family, you're thinking of traveling with your family. This is just my experience. Other people, other black folks have had great experiences in Greece, and that's wonderful. But I'm sharing my experience, and I ask those of you who have not had my experience to not discount it because you didn't have my experience. One of the worst things you can do is try to tell someone who went through something that you know better than they do what they actually experienced. Black people, Greece has wonderful history, archaeological sites, the food, the sunsets, gorgeous. People will greet you in the shops. It's what I call the purchase smile. People will smile at you and be kind to you when they're trying to get your money. But if they're not trying to get your money, if they're not at work, I didn't experience a lot of warmth or hospitality in those situations. You can go and you'll be safe, but just go with an awareness that, from my experience, they're not too happy that we're there. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to experience it and make the most of it. My goal in making these videos is to help you become aware of our experiences and to share with you how you can navigate this beautiful, diverse world with strength, with grace, and with your dignity intact. Know that some people might try to instigate an altercation, and so do everything in your power to avoid those situations. Do everything in your power to walk away if you can. Just be prepared mentally to stay as calm as possible, as reasonable as possible, and if you can, document it as well. Have somebody film it for you, just for your own protection and your own safety. Thanks for watching. I'm your friend, Dr. Manny Scott. I'll check in with you later.